This is College Football Imperialism Part 12. We only have 18 teams left. Second to last episode in the entire series. Here's what the map's looking like. Tulsa gigantic here in the middle. Washington dominating the northwest. LSU dominating the southeast. And a whole bunch of stuff going on in the northeast. Let's get straight into it. As I said, 18 teams. 6 group of 5s. 12 power 5s. I'm going to keep saying the power 5, I don't care. Rutgers has not played a game yet. So this will be their first. They could play Buffalo, Penn State, or maybe if they get the perfect spin, they could just take over Delaware. No, they will not get that perfect spin. They're definitely going to go play Penn State on the road. Rutgers is an 82 overall. Penn State's an 88 overall. I know Rutgers has that elite running back. Manungai, something like that. He's probably going to tear it up this year in the Big Ten. Rutgers could be a sneaky good team. If I remember correctly, their schedule isn't that tough either. Penn State starts out with a 3-point lead. Rutgers takes a lead, 10-6 at the end of the first quarter, up by 8 again, 17-9, 20-16 at halftime. Wow. 11-point lead, 27-16, 34-16. They are whooping Penn State in Happy Valley. The Nittany Lions almost came back, but Rutgers takes down Penn State 34-31. Wow. What an upset there. What an upset. We live for those upsets. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that last name. Rutgers QB threw for 3 touchdowns. 34-31 final. Probably one of the larger upsets that have happened so far. In their first game, they'll take over the entire state of Pennsylvania. Did not really expect Rutgers to do very well. They only have played one game, but they're 1-0. Got to be 1-0 every game. Penn State is removed from the wheel. Just like in real life, they can't win anything. Bama. This is going to be the first game Bama plays. They're surrounded by LSU, but share a sizable border with Auburn. So you could see Bama LSU or Bama Auburn. Looks like it's going to be Crimson Tide at the Tigers. The LSU Tigers. LSU's a 90 overall, and Bama. This is the first game we've seen them play. I don't know their overall. I'm going to guess 93. 93, okay. Good guess. I'll try to hop in at the end of some of these games if it's really close. Seen a whole bunch of games in Death Valley. Bama starts out with a 7-0 lead, but LSU ties it up. Bama takes back their lead up by 14 now. 28-7. 35-14. 35-21. LSU trying to come back, but they're down 42-21 at halftime. 42-28. 42-35 is a 7-point game again. 7-point game, 49-42. Bama looks like they're going to hold on to their lead. Kind of a thriller there. Bama wins in not really an upset, but in a really big game. LSU had a crazy second half. Jalen Monroe, 5 touchdowns, 320 yards. 28 points in the second half for LSU. Bama wins 56-49. One of the highest scoring games we've seen in this entire series. But now we get Bama. They have taken over just about the entirety of the Southeast. Expect nothing less from good old Crimson Tide. I'm gonna put their logo. We'll keep it right here. Keep it right there. So the LSU Tigers are gone. 8 more games to play. San Jose State, yes it will. It will be the good old Spartans. Haven't seen them play a game yet. And they are forced to play Tulsa. They do not border Washington. Pull up the spinner, it doesn't matter. They don't even border Washington. Tulsa, what were they at? 74 overall? 76, okay. Okay. SJSU, I'm gonna guess 75. 73. Yikes. Their defense is a 64. That is just awful. Tulsa took down Wisconsin. They had they had pretty much the territory that Tulsa has, this massive chunk of the central U.S. SJSU leads. Oh, they lost their lead. Tulsa up 17-10. SJSU ties it up 17 all at halftime. Tulsa with a touchdown lead. Now a 2-touchdown lead. San Jose State keep themselves in it, but just not enough from the Spartans. Tulsa stays alive 37-24. Solid win from them. Spartans not able to get out of their first game. We are 3 games into this thing. If you wouldn't mind, like, comment, subscribe. Really helps me out a whole lot. Go ahead and comment your predictions. Who is going to win the entire series? The finale will be tomorrow. We've got 16 teams left now. You'll know who to choose from by the end of the episode. Really helps me out a lot. And if you'd like to help decide my first rebuild, or my first Dynasty series on YouTube in College Football 25, go over to my community tab on my channel page, and the top post there should be the final poll. It'll either be Coastal Carolina or UConn. Go ahead and vote for the team you think I should do a Dynasty with. Anyway, 15 teams to go. North Carolina. We saw them play last episode that took down Maryland in a pretty big game. They could play a whole bunch of teams here. This one, it looks like it's going to be Bama. It will be Bama. Wow, okay. UNC at going all the way down to Tuscaloosa. This could be a conference matchup in the future. It could be a conference game. That's weird. That's so weird saying that. Of course, that's all just speculation. North Carolina could go to the Big Ten, but The ACC might not collapse. Who's to say, really? Who's to say? This is the first game we've seen in Tuscaloosa. I'll let the intro play. So LT Overton. Used to be an Aggie, but I ran away. This would be a pretty cool out-of-conference game. North Carolina would get whooped, but it would be a cool game. Alrighty. Bryant Denny's kind of cool. Bama up 17-0 at the end of the first quarter, now 24-0 at halftime. UNC gets on the board with a field goal, trying to get themselves back in. It is just way too little, way too late. Bama is going to take this one 41-10. They held UNC scoreless in the first half, only gave up 10 points the entire game. Absolutely dominated. So the Tar Heels are out. I will now move the Bama logo over here to try to keep it as centered as possible. We've got this little blob here in the middle called Auburn. It's kind of interfering with that. UNC goes on the road, just completely obliterated, pretty much. Now we got Ohio State. Ohio State, they actually have a border with Bama now. They could also play Louisville or Purdue or Rutgers or Kent State, so looks like it will be Rutgers, really? Yeah, that'll be Rutgers. Okay. Interesting. Can Rutgers pull off 2 massive upsets in one episode? We will see. There are only 2 R schools, Rice and Rutgers. Ohio State is a 93 overall. Rutgers is an 82 overall.
Welcome to the birthplace of college football, the State University of New Jersey, the campus of Rutgers.
I kind of like Rutgers Stadium. It's kind of cool. It's so small, though. It's kind of because they suck. Rutgers, well, they were tied. No, they've tied it up again. 14 apiece. Ohio State up by 7 at halftime, 21-14. Now up by 2 touchdowns. Now 3 touchdowns. Rutgers just trying to stay in it. They're just not going to be able to pull a second big upset. Ohio State will double up Rutgers' score and beat them 42-21. Rutgers, not a great KD ratios from Rutgers. A little bit disappointing, but you know they are Rutgers, and credit where credit's due, right? I think I'm gonna need to go over here and clean this up a little bit. Yeah, let me clean that up. And this looks just a little bit better. Still pretty funky territory. Kent State sort of just right there. kind of in the way, but they got the right to be here. Ohio State will stay on the wheel, and Rutgers, where are they? Down here. Scarlet Knights are gone. Buffalo, we have not seen Buffalo play in what feels like 10 episodes. And it might actually be 10 episodes. The Bulls are up here. They've got New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and the southern part of New York. They could take Vermont. They could take Rhode Island. They could take Maine. They could also play Syracuse or Ohio State. Looks like they're going to try to avoid playing a game. I would do the same. They're going to go north. Well, that won't be enough to hit Maine. It's going to go out into the Atlantic Ocean. I'm going to have to respin. Now. This spin might have just opened them up to play Syracuse. Goes north like that. I think they're going to clip the Syracuse territory right about here. They're not going to get to take over Vermont. So we'll see the Orange play the Bulls. Oh, and we get to go to the Carrier Dome. I do like the Carrier Dome. Although they renamed it. That's so dumb. So dumb that they renamed it. Syracuse is an 85 overall. That's very respectable. Very respectable for Syracuse. Buffalo, they're a 73 overall. They got here by beating Army. I think they may have only played that one game. In the first or second or maybe third episode.
Welcome to upstate New York.
Good old Carrier Dome. And the Orange. Super duper creepy.
A terrific clash in store.
But
We've got a
cool nonetheless. I saw Fadil Diggs. Man, Syracuse is lucky to have Fadil Diggs. Transferred out from A&M.
taking on a team from the ACC, the Syracuse Orange. 48 Sports College Football.
Carrier Dome, one of, is it 2 or 3 dome stadiums that college football teams play in? I know the Alamo Dome hosts UTSA. I don't know if there's another dome. We've got a tie ball game here. Oh, nope. Syracuse with a touchdown lead at halftime. 14-7. Pretty low scoring. Not a whole lot going on. Syracuse bumps their lead to 13 points. And they're going to walk out of here with a win. 20-14. Syracuse takes down Buffalo. In a closer matchup than it probably should have been. But a little bit of an unlucky spin there from Buffalo. The Orange are usually one of the better teams up here in this New York, northeast sort of region. Gotta remember to get Long Island. And I'm not going to give all these territories just to Syracuse, because, say, Ohio State beats Syracuse, Ohio State could take those territories and skip one of their turns. It's gotta leave them be. Buffalo is now off the wheel. We've got 4 more games to play. Kent State will finally play a game. I don't think the arrow spin really matters. They are going to be forced to play Ohio State. Ohio State is a 93 overall. All right, here we are. Kent State at Ohio State. Y'all probably already know how this is going to play out. Kent was the worst team in almost all of college football last year. And Ohio State is ranked second in the country, at least in these rankings. Early 7-0 lead, 14-0, 21-3, 28-3 at halftime. 41-16. Kent State's trying to make this one a little bit respectable. They do actually put quite a few points up in the second half. 20 points in the second half. But Ohio State wins 44-23. Not a shocker. Not a shocker there. Golden Flashes they're bad, frankly. And I don't think any Kent State fan would say otherwise. Probably make excuses, but not say otherwise. Anyway, now Ohio State has the entirety of their home state of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Good little run for them. Kent State is off the wheel. Only a few more games. We'll see Syracuse play one. They could head south and play Ohio State, or go north and pretty much take a free turn. Oh no, they're gunning for Ohio State. Wow. Okay. We'll see the Orange play the Buckeyes on the road. Syracuse in 85, Ohio State in 93. Second game we've seen at the Shoe today. Let's go ahead and make this a snow game. Just for kicks. Just for kicks. Make it a snow game.
Welcome to Columbus, Ohio, and the venerable Horseshoe, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Alrighty here. Syracuse. Syracuse with the lead. They're up 14-3, 14-10. They have a halftime lead of 4 points. Now they're up by 11 again. Ohio State trying to come back. Syracuse still leads by 3. Ohio State with a 1-point lead. We're in the fourth quarter. Can Syracuse put some points on the board at the end? And they did. Wow. Kyle McCord, of all players, is able to take out his former team and Ohio State and get them off the map. Wow. Revenge story from Kyle McCord. Wow. Syracuse takes down the Buckeyes on a last-second touchdown. I should have gotten into that game. See if there are any highlights. Any fourth quarter highlights that we can look at? No. Wow. There's a rushing touchdown by Kyle McCord with 9 seconds to go. 28-25 final. And the Orange do nearly the impossible, frankly. Wow. What a revenge game. I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot more of those revenge game sort of things in the upcoming years now that transfers are more common and stuff like that. Now that we haven't had them before, but wow. Syracuse has become the team in the Northeast. They will stay on the wheel. Ohio State will be eliminated. And we're going to play 2 more games. Wow. We'll see Purdue make an appearance. They took down Michigan last episode, I believe. They can play Tulsa, Syracuse, or Louisville. They're going to go nearly due south, and that'll actually clip Syracuse. So we'll see another game at the Carrier Dome between the Orange and the Spoiler Makers. Boilermakers are an 82 overall. We saw Syracuse are an 85 overall. I did not expect a Kyle McCord revenge game this series. Wow. I think that one is the biggest upset we've seen. Maybe not. I don't know. Syracuse is solid, but Ohio State was the second-ranked team in the country. Can the Orange make it out of another game? That's the big question now. They lead Purdue by 10 points at halftime, 10-0. Purdue gets on the board with a touchdown. Syracuse pushes their lead back to 10. We're here in the fourth quarter. The Orange up 23-7, and they're gonna keep that lead, only giving up one score to Purdue the entire game. The Orange have become, I mean, they're alive now. They're alive, and they're thriving. 23-7 final. Syracuse takes down Purdue. This could set up for some really interesting matchups next episode. I've got just about the entire Rust Belt under their belt. Ha 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 ha. Our big time players here are Syracuse, Bama, Tulsa, and Washington. Man, this series is something else. Something else. One more game here this episode before we go to the finale. Next episode, we're going to have Coastal play. Chanticleers, who could be the next team I do Dynasty with. They have to play Bama, so spinner wheel doesn't really matter. We'll see the chance go to Tuscaloosa. I'm going to take a quick look at Coastal's... What happened? At Coastal's uniform, just because I'm curious. Their defense is awful. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. They got the aways, the alts. They do play on that teal field too. The whites, the blacks. Those are clean. They've got a bunch of alternates. I do love the black and green. Teal, I guess. We'll keep them running the away uniforms as they do head down to Tuscaloosa.
Welcome to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where legends are made and titles are won. Bryant-Denny Stadium, home of...
Could we see something magical here? I don't know. Bama's already got a 21-point lead. They're legit. The Crimson Tide are legit, even led by Kalen DeBoer. 21-10 at halftime. 28-10 now. 35-10. Here comes the butt whooping. 42-17 is the final score. Yeah. Crimson Tide run away with this one. Not even close. Grayson McCall for Coastal, who was their guy and one of the best players in school history transferred to NC State. I think it was because he had to grad transfer. I think that was the reason. He was out of eligibility at Coastal. But he was legit. I liked watching him play. Bama just gets a tiny bit bigger. And that's going to be how we wrap up this episode 12. Coastal Carolina gets removed from the wheel. Our final 8 teams are Washington, Tulsa, North Texas, Alabama, Auburn, Miami, Louisville, and Syracuse. We are going to have one heck of a video tomorrow. Make sure to stay tuned for that. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. Comment who your pick is to win the entire thing. Vote for team I should do in my first dynasty. And until the next one, thanks so much for watching. Peace.